Welcome everybody to the Q&A for Rock Camp. Stand by for a moment as I bring on our special guests. There's one. And there's two. Hi, Doug.
Hey. Hi, John. Hello, everybody.
So we're just waiting for Teddy, which should be here any moment.
Come on, Teddy. Drum roll, please.
Slight delay. I know I clicked him in. Teddy. Oh, he's not at the table anymore.
Oh, no. He went off to the craft services.
He's here any second.
That me?
There he is.
It's Teddy.
There he is.
There he is. All right. So thank you guys for joining us. Doug is the filmmaker. Teddy is one of the stars and performers. I'm going to let Doug tee this up. But wow, what an honor to have you guys on today. And we're going to do a Q&A. We'll talk for 15, 20 minutes. And then we'll do some Q&A with the audience. So thank you.
Yeah.
Doug, why don't you take it away and tell us a bit about yourself and Teddy. And then I'll throw a couple questions at you to get you going.
Well, you know, I'm in the presence of greatness here with the monster of rock, Teddy, right below me here. I first of all, this is such a pleasure because this was a film that sort of came to me in the process of it being made, and I had heard of Rock Camp, but I thought, you know, I'm in different circles. I'm a filmmaker. I'm off doing other things. I never knew that I would end up attending a bunch of rock camps and like get into the flow and live in the rooms with these guys. And I went through like 5 or 10 pairs of earplugs in the process because these guys play loud in the room. What? Yeah, and it was such a thrill because until you go into the hallways of this, and that's what we try to do with the film. It's like put you in the hallways, in the rooms, in the big performance stage at the end. And also visit the campers, you know, to really give you the sense of what this is like to be a part of camp. And, you know, Teddy was great because he Teddy always had the line. Teddy always had a great line that the campers needed, like the punchline. Teddy was there every single time with the punchline, you know. But
You've been doing the camp for so many years.
Yeah. I mean, I really, Teddy's got the stories. I have a few from the time that I was in the camps filming. But Teddy, you go deep into the history of Rock Camp, and you've seen all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I was asked to do it starting in 2005.
Man.
Yeah, that's how far back. So I literally have worked with every major rock star that's come through the camp somewhere. I've offended a couple of them and become West.
So now we have to tell some stories. Okay, like spill all the beans. Come on, Teddy, tell.
Well, I'm a specific type of counselor. For a lot of the people that have been to camp that know me, I break the rules a little bit, you know. Sometimes I get David will tell you. My whole purpose of the camp is to make sure that the people that are in my class, that have taken my class, or the people they've put in my class, leave on that last day with a memory that they're never going to forget. You know, you always have those people, oh my God, Ted, this was the greatest thing in my life. You know, I think I'm going to quit my job and become a musician. I'm going, go ahead, hold on, slow down.
Slow the roll.
But, you know, it's one of those things where I've been blessed to enjoy what I do at teaching. And, you know, I'm a performer. I'm not, as you guys know, you can see I'm not a tech guy, right? I'm a performer, writer, you know, and producer. And when it comes to the looks on the people that take these camps, if you're a good counselor and they're getting something from you, it's the greatest gift in the world, man. It's like, I got to tell you, that Sunday, that last day after their last performance is over and they have to go and they're just crying on your shoulder that they can't believe what a great time they had. You go home at night and, man, you sleep really well, you know, because you did something really good in your life. So for me, it's an honor that David has asked me to be part of camp and to be part of this documentary. And I got to tell you, the guys that were in my room filming, they were having a great time. I don't know if those guys went to other rooms, but the collection of guys. Doug, were you part of the film crew that came to
Oh
my
yeah,
room?
no, I
Oh,
was
you were?
there. I
Okay.
tend to be very invisible. I hide behind the big guys with the camera.
Then you witnessed my singer, that singer
Sam?
guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable energy. But you know, it's and you never know when camp starts the level of musicianship that you're going to get.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. I've had
Yeah.
people that have come to camp, like say the camp that we had with Steven Tyler. I had a girl in my one of my bands, and I said, well, what do you play? She goes, I don't really play anything. So you're a singer? She goes, no, really, I'm just here to meet Steven Tyler. I'm going, what? So you spend all this money and you don't play an instrument, you don't do it. So it was up to me to make sure she felt like she was part of the band. So I literally got an extra keyboard from the warehouse, and I, with a Sharpie, put in colors on a keyboard. And I told her on a piece of paper, when this part comes up, you hit that key. When this part comes up, you hit this. And by the end of the 4 days, she was having the best time. She said, you know, I just absolutely can't thank you enough for all that you did and for taking the time to show me. You know, you get these guys that come in that are hot rods and go, yeah, I already know this song, or you know, my solo is a little bit, you know, I need to solo more. And I go, you know, relax, Jacob. I'll tell you when to solo. You know, it's like nobody's getting a record deal here. We're all in. You know, it starts. There's no I in band, as David would say. You know,
which is a great line.
But it's true. You know, you have to be able to also be a people person as a counselor. You know, so I've been fortunate enough that there's a whole group of us that, you know, that have done the camp that are people counselors as well as counselors. You know, you have to be able, you got to be a babysitter, you got to be a good teacher, and you know, you want people to like you. And I've been fortunate enough, and David will tell you if he's somewhere around on the 8th floor of this thing, he'll tell you that people continue to request, like myself. I'm not bragging, but he goes, I want to be in Ted's band. I want to, you know, and David's always like, well, there's too many people in Ted's band already. You can't be in Ted's band. Ted's got enough guys in his band. But and that's all because they remember the experience they had, and you know, they're spending a lot of money. They want to make sure they get, you know, there's money. And you know, for me, it's like I enjoy it. You know, I bring it all on. I used to, in the early days, I would wait till all the campers, we call them, were already picked, and then I would wait so I could get the bottom of the barrel, and then I would make something good happen with the least musical group in the camp, and that was fun for me. You know,
you get to be the hero.
Did you?
Well, or you know, go home and stick myself in the neck with a knife because of.
Hey, Doug, I was thinking, I had a question about the idea of, you've made a lot of amazing documentaries, obviously, and it's a tribute to you to be able to take this movie and give it story and have us care about all these different characters. And I'm wondering, maybe some of the audience would want to hear you talk about, like, how did you guys decide when you're putting this together? Which stories to follow and which were going to be the heroes, because it's essentially an ensemble piece, right? So
I mean, well, I think what Teddy was saying about, you know, you sort of look for interesting people, whether they can play or not, you know.
Right.
We got lucky that we had some good players too, and like, for instance, Tammy, who's just, you know, who's a brute on drums. She's fantastic, you know.
Right.
And what we loved about her story is she gets behind a kit and she's just like, she's ripping it up. I mean, you saw what she did with the Boston Smoking song. But she was taking a chance. She was like going out of her comfort zone and saying, I'm gonna be a singer. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna be something different this time. And she, you know, we had this very confident woman who's like, in New York, she owns the town and she runs the Empire State Building. But she comes to camp and she's like, I don't know if I can do this. You know, I don't know if I can pull this off. And what's great about that is you see people at their most vulnerable. You know, you see people who kind of have to go through something. And everybody we followed had something in their lives. You know, there's something that we wanted to track. I love Pistol, because Pistol is also I mean, he's pro grade. He's so good. But, you know, at the same time, he has this thing where, you know, he was this close. He almost toured Lenny Kravitz, all these things. And what's great about that story is that'll always be in him. But when he's at camp and he's playing and somebody comes and compliments him, I know when Paul Stanley called him Buddy Miles, and it's like, that just that broke him open. He was sobbing, you know.
Yeah.
This like he just had a good cry over that, and that's the kind of emotion we look for in characters, you know. And that's why we flew all over the country. We went and followed people in Pennsylvania, and New York, and New Jersey, and all over LA, and in Vegas and places. And we really wanted to tell stories of people all over America, you know, the people who come together for rock camp. A lot of people who Teddy's seen, and I don't know, Teddy, did you ever have like Pistol, or did you ever have
No,
they're repeat?
Well, no, I never had either of them, and I was always like bummed out after the bands were all chosen, and I had seen Pistol play. I went, damn it,
I want that guy.
how come I can't get that guy? You know, but I got to tell you, John, I may add to what Doug was saying. It was amazing when the actual camp was up and running. You could literally get a story out of every classroom that you went to. There was always something. I mean, there was usually, we went from 13 to 15 bands. So at one point there would be 15 rooms fucking rocking. You know, playing music, you know, and it got to be a little, you know, especially at the rehearsal halls, but you stick your head into each of those rooms and man, there was always something going on, something cool, some kind of negativity, possibly somebody crying in another room, but there was always a story in each room.
Right. That's the challenge as a documentary filmmaker, right? You end up with hundreds of hours of footage
Exactly.
and all these amazing stories. And then you're like,
man.
okay, how do I tell the best story? Because at the end of the day, you got to put something on a screen and you want to be captivating people for 90 minutes or whatever. And you got to make choices.
Yeah.
And we had a ton of footage. I mean, there's the archival stuff from Rock Camp, which goes back to 1997.
Yeah,
I mean,
can't even imagine.
We have tapes that are on tape. You know,
we got to get Fishoff up here. There needs to be a series.
Yeah.
Be a series.
Well, don't think we haven't talked about it. But because there's that kind of material and those kinds of stories, and we track through like a significant chunk of modern rock and roll history through all this too. And so many people have come through to be camp counselors and to be the featured whatevers. And I think that we have a piece of rock history that's really special because there's so many different roads that come together at rock camp too. You've got heavy metal, you've got, you know, funk and soul occasionally, you've got singer-songwriters, you've got pop and that blend, punk, you know, and alt rock and stuff. We've got so many people coming and going that I don't know if you get that outside of, you know, a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame event or something. You don't get that kind of convergence in rock, you know.
Well, the other thing that's amazing about it is you're bringing people from all over the world, really. And you know, you think about Dodger Camp, right? Dodger Camp's great, but if you're not in LA, you're probably not going to Dodger Camp. I mean, the fact that David's we should maybe bring David up here and let him.
I think it's time to bring him only.
Should we bring him up here?
David Fishoff.
Let's bring up the big
because you know
himself.
This is an inspirational thing he's doing here. He's giving people a chance to have a taste, and it's changing their lives. It's special.
Oh, absolutely. You know, there's so many of the big rock stars that have come.
There he is.
David.
There he is.
That's the man right there.
There I am.
The one and
No
only.
way. You guys are unbelievable. No. This is all about you guys. I mean, really. The camp would happen. Teddy, you know, I said all the time, without you guys, this camp would never happen. Without the rock stars, without Doug, this film never would have gotten this way. You know, I could just come up with the ideas, but it really is amazing.
And David, to his credit, has been able to get almost every rock star available. I mean, I think except for Clapton and Elton John, everyone else has come through the doors of the rock camp.
We'll get them. We'll get them.
What's really amazing is to see somebody that you like, Mark Farner, for God's sakes, one of my heroes, right? To be standing next to him as a counselor, and or the guys from Judas Priest. These guys, you know, they sign on, and David kind of explains to them what it's about, and they still don't.
2 hours only.
They don't quite get it. They don't quite get it until they're actually in the rooms and they're playing. And I swear to God, those guys, you can't get rid of them now. Gene Simmons, the same thing. You know, they don't understand it, but once they're in there, they get so into it that it's like, I want to come back. Let's do this again. Let's do it again. Whenever you want, David. Yeah.
My favorite is Nick Mason from Pink Floyd. I mean, there's no one wealthier He's like one of the richest rock stars. He owns.
You know what's crazy? Nick Mason was in another doc that I worked on about the amazing auto museum in the UK.
Oh,
he's the biggest car
donated
collector.
like his cars. He's like sending cars there because he has too many.
He's so
and then
wealthy.
shows up at rock camp.
I have a great Nick Mason story, really
But
quickly.
anyways, I just
go
my
ahead,
story
go.
was I asked him to come for 2 hours. He stayed for 4 days.
4 days.
And then he couldn't stop. He jammed with everybody. And then he asked me, he says, "Do you mind if I write a story in GQ on the camp?" And he wrote a 5-page story in London. Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Tell your story, Teddy.
Check this out. It was the same camp. I was a counselor, and I had some hotshot drummer that thought he was shit didn't stink, right? And second day into the camp, he goes, "Hey, listen, I can't stick around because my wife and I are going to go shopping." Like, what? What are you talking about? You're not going shopping. Yes, my wife, I promised her we go shopping. I said, "We need a drummer." And at that point, Nick Mason was just walking around to the other rooms. He just happened to walk in. I'm going, "Nick, come on, you're going to be." And Nick Mason was our drummer for that camp.
Is that crazy?
He just happened to walk in, and I said, "We need a drummer." Nick Mason. There he was, sitting, playing with us.
Wow.
Can we just back up for one moment? So now that we got David here, and just where did this idea of making the documentary come from, and when did it start? Like, David,
It came from a friend of mine, Jeff Rowe. Jeff Rowe we've been friends since his days when he ran VH1, and then he went to AOL, and then NBC, and we hadn't seen each other in a long time, and then I moved to LA, and he moved to LA, and we just got together about 7 years ago, and he came up with this idea. He said, "You should do a documentary." Now, Mark Burnett had done a reality series, and that's what brought me to LA. But it was okay. The series was okay. He didn't get it. He had young people in there. It didn't represent the brand. And it was always frustrating to me because then the Citibank commercial was great and the Simpsons. But what I wanted to do was, I said, if we do this, we really got to get deep inside. And because people are scared to come. That's really the problem.
Right.
That Jeff Beck camp, I cannot tell you. I thought I had 40 guitar players. I had 20. People are scared to jam. The week before camp, I hate to say it, it's called Cancer Week because the wife calls up, my husband can't come. His mother has cancer, his brother has cancer, his guitar has cancer, his drums have cancer. They just throw that word out thinking, an excuse because they're too scared. But the ones who come, Teddy will tell you. They keep coming back and back. And, it's so interesting. They're scared. And now I get it. I was once invited to go to Michael Jordan fantasy camp. And I said to my friend, "I'm not going to play one-on-one with Michael Jordan or be with 3 other guys. I want to be with 3 other guys. They're going to look at me like I'm bad." People are scared, right, Teddy? They come into a
yeah.
But when they come, Doug got it. Their lives change. That woman, her feelings. And Teddy said it right. There are hundreds of stories. And, there's so many stuff sitting on Doug's floor. There are so many. Every camper's a story, really.
The cool thing is also visiting them in their real lives and seeing the difference between them being, a mom and superpowered exec, and then they become a singer and drummer, on the weekend at rock camp, or some of the kids who've been elevated by it. We talked to a lot of young people who come to this. It might have changed their lives permanently. The fact that they have the confidence now to walk out on a stage, and that's not just for music. It might be for all kinds of stuff, and it's really, really cool to watch that.
Any questions on the outside, John?
Yeah, you guys want to jump into some questions? I can jump into that, and then we're gonna get to hear a treat from you, right, Teddy?
You want me to? I can play a little.
Well, let's do a couple questions, and then we're gonna let you bust into some music for us.
That's why I'm here. I want to
that's why I came tonight.
Okay, let's jump in. So
Keller in the house here too.
Wow. So what was the hardest scene to shoot, Doug?
Oh boy. We had this crazy run from I had a film at South by Southwest, and I had to fly right from South by Southwest, and I can't honestly say. And David and I worked together at South by Southwest at this, by the way. And, you know, at South by Southwest, you have activities that go kind of late,
Mm-hmm.
right? I had to load my carcass onto a Southwest jet, get out of Austin, fly to Pittsburgh, where we did one of our stories, then pack all our gear up and go over to New Jersey, and then go up to New York on the morning Acela or whatever. I didn't know, after 5 or 6 days, I was just like, smoke was pouring out of my ears. I couldn't believe that we were able to do that kind of run, but we filmed so much good stuff. That one trip was really something special, because we saw so much. It's like so much America so fast. And we saw the campers back home and the kind of things that they went through. And we got a little bit of that kind of rusty American rock and roll was going on between New Jersey and Pittsburgh and stuff. I felt like this is what it's like to tour. I mean, I felt like Teddy. I felt like I was out like loading in, loading out, and that was really magical. It kind of put me back in touch with when I was like a young camera guy, just running around doing this stuff. And it reminded me of the fun of discovery of that, and just how cool people are. Everybody was great to us. Like, they took us into their homes, and, you know, we'd be hanging out with them and going around to see the stuff in the towns that they're from. And it reminded me that this is what rock and roll looks like. And this was kind of a rock and roll film that way. So that really was a highlight. And then, of course, you know, just going to the camps,
right?
The couple of Vegas camps and the North Hollywood camps and the many others that we had access to.
And that's the important thing here, is that these people who are not necessarily in the rock world, or they're just regular people who have a chance of experiencing being in a rock band.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and leaving with, wow, I was able to play with Steven Tyler, you know, or I was able to play Roadhouse Blues with the guitar player, you know, Robbie Krieger. You know, they would never have been able to do that had it not been for camp. Doing with down bam bam. What is that? The Who tune? Kip, I'm drawing a blank here.
Won't Get Fooled Again.
Won't Get Fooled. Yeah, doing Won't Get Fooled Again with Roger Daltrey. I'm like, if you would have, you know, told them, you know, before rock camp that you're going to be doing this with them, with Roger Daltrey, what?
Yeah, it's hard to put that in words and grasp it.
You have to admit it too. Bruce Kulick came out of rehearsal with Roger Daltrey. He said, "I just went to fantasy camp."
Yeah.
Johnny A.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Johnny A. was a counselor, and he started doing solos with Jeff Beck. I mean, the counselors, they're auditioning. They're auditioning for the big rock stars for the next year,
right, exactly. Absolutely. I would do things, you know, because I was a little bit more hard-edged around the. When Eric Johnson did the camp, I took one of the Cliffs of Dover. It was one of his famous songs. I took it and I changed the bridge on it. And I said, when he came to play with us, he goes, I said, when we come to the bridge, White Cliffs said, we're not going to do that. He goes, the band didn't feel like it needed it. And he was like, what? What? Yeah, we took that part of the song out. So it was, you know, we just took these liberties with these big stars, and they just went right along with it. Same thing with Judas Priest. I told the drummer, I said, just watch me. We're not going to do the ending like you guys do it. And then at the end of the song, what's his name? The singer comes over to me and he goes, "You don't think I can use that, do you?" So it's really a lot to be on stage with these guys even as a counselor. It's a pretty inspiring thing.
Well, I see another question here, and I'm gonna add a new spin to it because it'll zero in on it. Otherwise, we could be here for 2 hours. Because it's what's your favorite vignette of the film? But I'm wondering if you could tie that to the idea of, you know, maybe seeing another side of some of these stars, right? Like, all these guys are seeing these people that are larger than life rock stars, and then here they are. They're just people wearing their jeans and having a conversation with you. And I feel like in some ways that's part of the charm of this camp, right? It's like it's bringing this whole thing back to people, and this is you and me, and you're brilliant and you're an artist, but you're a person, right? So what are some of the special vignettes and the special segments that really clicked for you guys?
Well, I remember when Rudy Sarzo, like, he's almost breaks down in tears. He says, he kind of had to catch himself. He says, it reminds me of my love of playing. You know, it's something like he said something to that effect, and it's in the trailer too. It's just like, that was such a sincere moment, because you could tell it's like going back in the garage. It's like, this is what it's like to be 17, right? and you got some ripped jeans and you got a barely working amp, and it's like, hey, let's try this again. Let's go back there and see people doing that.
Yeah, that's for me. It's the same thing. It's like to sit in these rooms with these campers and to actually to play like Tom Sawyer, and to have them play it through one time. You're like, wow, that was really good. And you're like, yeah, you guys really did a great job. And as a counselor, you're proud of that. And I said, all you got to do now is play it live at the Whiskey A Go Go, and don't fuck it up.
Don't make me look bad.
No pressure.
David, any highlights for you that are like moments that you just cherish?
And cherish. Well, in the film, it's a couple of Jerry Cantrell. I mean, he came to camp. He just sits and has lunch. Sits down with everybody, has lunch. One of and again, seeing this film, so many different versions of it, and I give Doug so much credit because he told me he'll get to the end of it. It took me. How you did this, Doug? He's a magician. He's a magician. But let me tell you something interesting. I mean, there was a line that I love the part where Nancy Wilson. She's not in the film. It fell on the floor. But I want to share this. Is that when we first started the business is about it was about the music, and then it becomes about we make it, and it becomes about lawyers, agents, managers, deals, negotiating. Because I came to this camp, it's about pure music. And that's really what I love. I love that it's about pure music. And Roger Dolce, like what Roger Dolce even says, some people are good, some people aren't good, but it's about having fun. And that's what I love. It's not to me. That's the message. And then they get affected by it too. Gene Simmons said, that's, even Gene is humble. And I'm so grateful to him because he comes across amazing in the film.
Oh, yeah. He spent so much time. Him and Paul, but actually the whole band, they spent, him and Paul specifically, spent so much time with the campers. I mean, they would come to the classrooms during the day and then come to the performances at night. Zach Wilde. Same thing with Zach Wilde.
Zach Wilde, amazing, yeah.
It's like one of these. He's so much energy, and it's like kind of wears you out. But he's so into it. He's just so. Meatloaf, same thing. He
great.
He came to all the individual classrooms, and gave his 10 commandments of what not to do, what to do, and how to.
I think the hardest thing in seeing a film like this, it could be 3 hours.
Oh, easy.
That's why I was saying you should make a series. I mean, it should.
I want to go back to that, but how Doug brought it into just the right time.
Yeah.
My father was a Moel. He did circumcision. Boy, you did a great job.
I was channeling him with every cut.
No.
All right, so I'm gonna ask one more question, and then we're gonna hear some music from Teddy. Is that cool, Teddy?
Yeah. I mean, am I supposed to play anything specific, or just gonna play it? I'll just play something quick.
It's up to you guys. I think you play something quick, and then we do maybe one more question, and then you maybe play something else. So,
that's good.
How many guitars were destroyed during the course of making this movie? I'm just reading the question.
A whole bunch were sharpied out by Paul Stanley. I remember when I don't know if that's destroyed.
I don't think anything was destroyed. I mean, if anything was destroyed, it didn't happen on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So we didn't have like Townsend smashing guitars kind of thing.
Not that I know of.
We always get asked to do master classes on breaking, throwing TVs down, but we save those master classes to go to our website at rockcamp.com. You can get the best master how to be a groupie, But
that's a great.
Speaking of groupies. Here's one more question, and then we're gonna hear some music or whatever you wanted to say, Teddy. Sorry. So was there anything that was too R-rated to put in the film?
Yeah, you go.
Well, that'll be Rock Camp After Midnight. We're working on that one.
Well, I gotta tell you, David, it was one of the few times that me and David actually clogged heads, and it was the camp that we did with my singer, and we had a big argument about, he was a little bit too X-rated, and me and David are in the hallway like yelling at each other, and the whole time we're arguing about this, I'm thinking, nobody is filming this.
They should have filmed that.
Nobody's filming this. Why isn't it? But yeah, they're like, oh my God, this is all going to waste. Nobody's.
That's when you get out your phone. You say, "Hold on, hold that thought."
God damn it!
I was so upset. I was so upset.
And see, I looked at it from a different angle. I said, David, why are you upset? He's just being a rock lead singer. That's what rock lead singers do. And he goes, no, it's not. I don't want to portray the camp that way. And I totally get it now. But it's like, it was one of those things where he was so over the top. I mean, he was a singer, lead singer. And
Teddy,
as you know, here we go.
Come on, Teddy. When John, he showed up at camp Thursday. John 5. You're playing with John 5.
Right.
I get honored to get these rockers. Yeah. Okay. Right. You know that. I'm so honorable that you come. That everybody will come.
Right.
When he starts jiggling. Right. What do you? How do you gyrating? Is that the
gyrating? Right.
John 5 looking at me like, come on, David. Even Paul Stanley. You know what?
Yeah, we're very lucky. I didn't see any of that, so I didn't know.
You didn't see it, Teddy.
I know, right?
Doug, save this guy.
No, I know. Well, that's why I asked him earlier, because he was in my room, and I go, my singer was okay, right? So I didn't see any of what Dave was talking about, but it was a good piece of film that could have been had.
The argument with me and him was great.
Yeah. It was great. And I felt so bad. I went home that night and I felt terrible. I'm going, I can't believe I was arguing with David, of all people.
No, it's okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, see it. Doesn't leave.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Come on, give us something good.
I got to put a shout out for, one thing I noticed was the female rockers at camp. The women were much bawdier on camera and with what they said to us and everything. The women were just like running circles around the men. So it was they were just like let loose, and the guys were like, "What?" Here we go.
You got me running, you got me hiding, you got me hiding, running anywhere you wanna, let it roll. Yeah. Well, you got me doing what you want, baby, what you want me to do. I'm going up, I'm going down, I'm going up, down, up, anywhere you wanna, let it roll. Yeah. Well, you got me doing what you want, baby, what you want me to do.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like when I'm playing for 5,000 people. Yeah, that's right.
All right, so Go ahead.
I could have played this. I could have played that, but
we've heard that before.
Yeah, right.
Plus, it cuts off right in the middle when Tony is in the restaurant.
I have a question that I'm sure people are wondering, and that is, I don't know how many people. I haven't seen the tickets yet, but I know a lot of people are excited to see this movie. I know you did really well in Florida. Everybody wants to see this movie. It's an amazing movie. The trailer is so damn good. Tell us when we can tell people where to see this and when it's coming out in a bigger way. David, do you know that yet, or am I putting you on the spot here?
On Monday. We'll Monday, Tuesday, we're going to let you know.
Okay.
But now with the situation, we're hoping to get. Yep. We were supposed to originally go February 16th, but now we want to move it up to January 15th and play all the theaters. There's about 100 theaters out there. And so we're going to get it hopefully cleared on Monday, and just in America, and then we'll go to Europe later. But I'm excited about it. The reaction Key West was just incredible. And Doug, you've shown it a few different times. People saw the original, the one you showed at Vegas.
Oh yeah,
and it's just how the film has come around so many times, and
the process
is just
the process.
Yeah. It's
Trust
a lot
the
different
process,
than being in the music business, in the concert business.
Yeah, I wish we could knock these out in like 5 minutes while you're just like dreaming on the keys. I wish it was like that. Film takes so many revisions, and I know some songs take forever too, Teddy. I know sometimes you have to work it. Other times it just rolls right out, and it's just like that was the riff.
Well, the truth is, you could just keep cutting and cutting, right? Fellini's famous quote is like, the movie's not done until you run out of money.
Well,
you just keep cutting.
A riff on that is, and films are not finished; they're abandoned. Right. And you just abandon them, hopefully at a good point.
But I want to say, all the campers did say, "Yeah, go, Teddy." I'm sorry.
I'm really proud I'm really happy to say that finally David has something to be proud of. Because we've talked about this for a long time, even before Doug was involved. And this is something that's really been a big a labor of love for him. So I'm really happy for him. And I've known David a long time, and finally the people of the world will get the chance to see what they've been missing.
I remember when I said to Doug, when I first met Doug, we sat in a coffee shop in the Valley, and I said, "Here's the issue: how many times do you go to see a movie and you watch the trailer, and then you go watch the movie and you're disappointed?"
Right.
The problem with Rock Camp is so amazing that I can't show in a trailer what this thing is. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved that Doug. That's when I came back from Key West, they all said to me, "Wow, Doug really got to show what camp's about." And
did.
The Pampers did it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, just to live in that world, walking around the hallways, and Teddy, you know this so well. It's like the feeling of just being in this mayhem that David creates, because David is the master of ceremonies. You are like, Moses and P.T. Barnum mixed together with little Santa Claus and other things. And it's just the fact you keep the lid on this thing, and it doesn't just explode into flames. And sometimes a little bit it does, which is good. But it's amazing you pulled this off. And you pulled this off, by the time we did the film, it was like we were heading through that 69th into 70th camp. And, so many people have passed through the halls and had that experience. I'm just glad we could share it now, hopefully with me.
And I want to, besides giving a shout out to my wife, who's been amazing, but I have to give a shout out to Scott Keller in the film. Scott Keller is great in the film, but there's a whole scene of the film that he really helped save the company because there've been a lot of times, but he has been such a great part of our camp and really helps me all the time. Helps Jeff, helps me, and he's just been a great friend. And I love his story. I love his story too. It's amazing.
Truly.
They're all great.
Yeah, that was the real heart of the film right there. Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this up in a minute here, guys. So I'm gonna ask you one more question, and then if there's anything else you feel like you need to share that we didn't get to, feel free. And then we'll let Teddy take us out on another tune. But tell everybody where to go to track this film. Tell us about the website, socials, how to follow you guys.
Well, rockcampthemovie.com is the site. Rockcamp.com is the other site, is a live site, but we just did a movie site. I think it's Rock Fantasy Camp is on Instagram, but just go to Rock Camp the Movie, and there'll be some details there, and we're just getting all that together. And I'll leave that to Jeff Rowe, who's the producer of the film. Who's really he should really be on here, Doug.
Thank you, Jeff, for making this happen.
Thank you, Jeff.
Life and soul. We should mention also, David, that you have those master classes still online.
Oh, they're great. I gotta tell you,
wow.
Every night, like Britt Lightning from Vixen, the guitar player, she's hosting these amazing master classes. And this Monday night is Desmond Child finishing. I cannot tell you, for 13 years, I've been trying to get him to come to camp, Teddy. This guy's written more hit songs.
Oh yeah.
And I finally got him to come because it's like this on Zoom.
Yeah,
This guy is brilliant. The guy, he takes a song and he analyzes it, and he gives you a half hour with every song. You see why he's a genius, why he's written all these amazing songs. So they're nice. Roger Daltrey's doing them. We have Joe Elliott. Joe Elliott from Def Leppard, the band Styx. Many of them doing it for charity.
Yeah.
Judas Priest.
Judas Priest. Yeah,
Judas
really.
Priest.
Yeah, but like Doug said, we got to get back to live music.
Yeah.
You know, Teddy,
I just love that Rock Camp hasn't gone away. Like COVID
right, we didn't stop. Yeah, I'm so excited that we're able to connect.
This is the
It's a
bridge,
bridge, exactly.
back to the live rooms again.
When it does, I got to tell you, I'm sure that when the camp opens back up again, we're going to have a problem with population.
People have been waiting a long time.
Yeah, they've been waiting a long time.
Yeah. All right, so how about another tune, Teddy, to take us to the finish line?
You know, it's that time of year, folks.
Santa Claus.
Well, you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
I'm glad you let him do that, David.
I don't have my lighter.
Oh.
I don't have my lighter.
Yeah, we don't have to pay. We don't have to pay for that, do we?
No,
we don't.
I didn't hear that.
ASCAP's. There's nobody on ASCAP.
Slide.
No.
Slide.
All right. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap this up? Thank you so much for doing this, David. I know it's been.
Thanks everybody.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been talking about this. It's great that we're finally here, and wow, fun to show it to everybody.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John, for helping me through this apartment house of. And Doug, you did a great job. David, I can't.
Thank you. I'm thankful to you. That it wasn't for Teddy.
I went to David's daughter's wedding, and I'd never been to an Orthodox wedding before. If you ever get a chance to go, it's the most unbelievable thing you will experience. It's like 15 hours of food. It was unbelievable. Listen, me and my wife, we had to leave. They were bringing out the desserts, and we had to leave because we couldn't take any more food. It was the greatest thing ever. And again, thank you, David, for inviting us and for being the good friend that you've been all these years. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you, Doug, for staying with it. Right, that's a
quick shout out to the whole team. There's a huge crew of people who put it all DPs and co-director Renee and editors like Josh and Miles and so many other people who contributed to this film. It's been a long road, but man, it's worth it in the end. It really is.
Terrific.
So all right.
Go out and see the movie.
Yeah, come see the movie. We'll keep sharing. We'll keep talking about it. Make sure everybody's aware. Yeah. Thank you all again for coming.
We'll
see you again real soon. Be well.
Thanks for a great night.
Thanks to all of you.
Yeah.
Be well.
Cheers, everybody.
Okay, how do I do this?